Hey, we are live.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the House Environment Committee. This afternoon, we're going to walk through the latest language on Legislative Council.
Good afternoon. This is Michael Grady. You should have on your website or in front of you a draft number 3.7, 425 date and a 3:26 p.m. timestamp. The new language begins on page 6. It is in that section related to the taking and possession of reptiles and amphibians. You will see the first subsection is that prohibition that a person shall not intentionally take a reptile or amphibian in the state unless authorized by rules adopted under subsection B of this section. That goes into effect January 1, 2027. Then under sub B, the commissioner has discretionary authority to establish requirements for the following by rule. Lines 7 and 8 had previously been under subsection A as a prohibition, but Rep. Chapin pointed out that they were dependent on rule, that the prohibition was dependent on rule, so it should have been moved down to the discretionary requirements, and it was. So the commissioner may adopt by rule requirements for the collection or possession for commercial use, export, or sale of reptiles and amphibians specified by the commissioner. Then in the next subdivision for the taking of reptiles or amphibians that are S5, you wanted that to be based on data collected or compiled by the department. And then on the next page, 7, there had been an effective date for the prohibition on the taking of reptiles and amphibians that was moved to the effective date section at the end of the bill. So this section now is just largely about the import, possession, and sale of the pond slide. So a person shall not import, possess, or sell in the state of pond slider unless the turtle was legally acquired as a pet prior to July 1, 2025. However, you wanted to clarify that a person is prohibited from releasing to the wild pond slider retained as a pet. And a violation of the prohibition shall be subject to enforcement as a fish and wildlife violation. Without providing any monetary amount for it, it goes to the default violation, 5 points and up to $1,000. And a fine or civil penalty if you do what you were doing in H 230. The prohibition on the pond slider shall be repealed on the effective date of a rule adopted by the commissioner regulating the import, possession, or sale of the pond slider. And then the next change is on page 16, and that is in the effective date where you clarify that Section 6 VSA 4085A related to the taking of reptiles and amphibians. The prohibition shall take effect on January 1, 2027. So the commissioner has approximately 18 months to adopt by rule requirements for the regulation and taking of reptiles and amphibians in conformity with the language that you provided in Section 6.
Thank you. Members have questions? Clear.
Yeah.
Clear and concise.
Much thanks to Rep. Chapin for walking me through my delusions about that section.
All right. Not seeing any further questions. You can carry on, go to ag.
Sure.
So members, we are going to be hearing from Fish and Wildlife at 3:30. They were unable to join us now, and I don't think, I'm hopeful that Michael can join us for a portion of the time at 3:30, but he's scheduled another committee at 3:30, so he may not be with us. So we'll get their thoughts on this at 3:30. And with that, we don't have further business until the joint hearing with the Ag Committee at 2, which is also a little bit of rinse and repeat for us. But if you're like me, it's okay, because we're going to walk through in that joint meeting what's the S124, no, 27, whatever the Ag bill is. It's on our agenda. It's It's 124. I'm getting my Senate bills. Again, we didn't finish it, but it won't hurt me to do it again. And so I thought it was a good idea to join forces and hear that together in room 11. Any questions or comments right now? We are working on when to reconsider the housing bill. And I think Representative Logan is going to have a small suggestion for a change in her area for us to consider recommending to the housing committee. Is that true, Representative Logan?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're gonna
127.
yes, yep. So with that, we will break until we reconvene at 2 o'clock in room 11.